So one of the biggest things that's coming to Star Citizen in 3.5 is the new flight model, and with it is atmospheric flight, a system in which ships behave differently depending on atmospheric density and how aerodynamic your ship is. So if your ship looks like a space plane, it's probably going to fly pretty well in atmosphere. If it looks like a brick, well, it's going to behave like a brick. Hey guys, I'm Morphologist, and in this short video, I'm going to show you guys a direct comparison, side by side, between 3.4 and 3.5's flight model. I'll be doing that using two different ships, the Anvil Aero, which is going to be our space plane, and the RSI Aurora, our space brick. They do handle very differently in both versions of the game, but you will be very surprised in the end of this video about just how much the new flight model changes the way ships handle in atmosphere. Now, just as a quick note, this is not going to be a full breakdown of the differences between the two flight models. It's just focusing on the way ships handle in atmosphere. Finally, if you get motion sickness easily, please be careful in this video. This is the first ship we're taking a look at, the Aurora MR, RSI's starter ship that you can get when you first purchase Star Citizen. Now, as a quick note, the new flight model is different than the old in that you can actually set your maximum throttle position. You are limited in 3.4, which means that I can fly much faster in 3.5, but in order to compare, I've flown here at the same speed. Unfortunately, you can see in 3.4, I lose altitude very quickly when making a left bank. Meanwhile, in 3.5, I'm able to continue on to make my right bank following my left bank without any issue and hardly with losing any altitude whatsoever. Here's the second attempt. I successfully complete the left bank in 3.4. 3.5, of course, is no issue, but I had to be much higher in 3.4 to avoid hitting the ground. Now, some of you more experienced pilots out there will probably have already thought, did I turn CLS off in 3.4? And the answer is yes. So I'm able actually to maintain a much higher speed when I'm turning. 3.5 is a little bit different in that CLS is kind of always off. It behaves as though there is no CLS and you sort of just always are banking and sliding. But with the atmospheric effect, I'm actually able to maintain my turn and speed way better than I am in 3.4, meaning that dogfights, I think, even in this starter ship, are going to be a heck of a lot more fun in atmosphere than they ever were before. Now, you also might be wondering if I can set that throttle position much higher and get faster turns in 3.5. The answer is sort of. There is a top speed for this ship in atmosphere. It is limited by the fact that it is shaped like a brick, but ultimately I'm actually able to go much faster and turn much better in 3.5 than you ever could in 3.4. The difference here really is between being flyable and completely unflyable at low altitude. Great show here for the Aurora. Now let's take a look at how our resident space plane handles in atmosphere. Well, it's a lot different than the brick, that's for sure, but how much different is it? Here, making a banking left turn, you'll see that I'm sliding out a lot more in 3.4 than I am in 3.5. Also, when I correct to level off, it's a lot easier and quicker to do in 3.5. You'll also notice, just as I did in the Aurora, that I'm losing altitude in 3.4 as I make my banking turn, whereas in 3.5 I'm able to correct and level off much more quickly without crashing. Here, executing another left-hand turn from the outside, you'll notice just how much altitude I lose in 3.4, whereas in 3.5 I'm able to maintain a smooth altitude and correct very easily to level off. One of the other really cool attention to detail things they added in the 3.5 are the contrails that show up when you make hard banking turns. They are variable, by the way. The harder the bank you make is, the more they show up, which we know in real life actually does happen, which is pretty neat. I like that they added that in. Now, one of the things that I didn't notice with the Aurora, but I did with the Aero, is the top speed at low altitude. With the Aero in 3.5, my top speed is almost twice as fast as in 3.4. And that's even with Afterburner on in 3.4. It's that much faster. So you can imagine the implications this is going to have in atmospheric dogfights. And finally, just in case you were curious about these two ships side by side, here's the Aero and the Aurora both in 3.5 making the same turns. You'll see here, of course, the Aero is predictably a lot more maneuverable than the Aurora, but the Aurora's not half bad. So I'm really happy with the new flight model. It really demonstrates here, I think, in this comparison, just how much work they had to put in to make aerodynamics a thing. It's proven to make flight a lot more enjoyable overall on a surface of a moon or planet that has atmosphere. I also really appreciate that we can now set our own throttle position. Of course, if we go over SCM, the recommended top speed, that would be the red that's defaulted here on the left hand of the HUD, then we kind of lose maneuverability. But I like the idea that you can go beyond that and kind of push the limits of your ship, push the limits of your thrusters, just in case you really need that extra oomph to win out against another person in a dogfight. I think it adds a lot more skill. In other words, it raises the skill cap for dogfights, at least in atmosphere, and probably in 0G, no atmosphere as well. A lot of you were understandably worried about this new system, having heard so much about it, and I think, or at least I hope, this has assured some of you that it's not a bad change. It's of course going to take some getting used to, and if you've mastered the old system, this is going to take you a little bit to master now. And to answer the question some of you may already be posting in the comment section, can you fly without power? I just did here with the Aurora. You can do it even better with any winged ship. It's actually really neat. You can glide down to the surface. Though be careful with that. If you get too far nose down, you'll probably explode. 3.5 is going to be really exciting, guys. And I'm really also excited for future updates. We still have to get VTOL flight in the game, and Chris Roberts just talked about it in Reverse the Verse. They are working on it. So we're going to have some other attributes contributing to the way ships fly in atmosphere in the future. For example, the Aurora here actually does have turbofans for VTOL flight. You can actually see them there in the winglets, those little doors there. And I predict that, coupled with the fact that you can burn these things out, are going to make for a very interesting and high skill ceiling experience for those of you who really are looking forward to flying internet spaceships. Anyway guys, if you appreciate the effort I put into this, you can help me out by hitting the like and subscribe button. It helps me grow my channel and get this video out there. Also, let me know down in the comment section below what you thought of the wide aspect ratio I used for this video. I'm trying to always improve the quality of my channel, and I think wide aspect ratio gives me a few advantages that regular aspect ratio doesn't give me. Specifically, it actually increases my field of view in Star Citizen, which makes for some pretty cool panoramic shots, like here of the 600i, where I'm working on the Architect Reviews touring version of that specific ship. So look for that, guys. Finally, if you want to be part of the community, it's easy to do. All you have to do is head down to the description below and join our Discord channel. That's all for now, guys. I hope to see you next time.